Chapter 1, laddies. My name is Chaz, and welcome to the. Hold on. Give me a moment. The. What if Zuko swapped bodies with All for One? Part 1, or. I don't know what part. So. The. In this part. Or in this alternate timeline, should I say, Zuko was born quirkless. But he also has a sister in this what if, so yeah. But we won't do the talk to the more about her because it's all about Zuko. So but why? Because you're already like went for canon version. She has a quirk, fire manipulation. So yeah, Zuko was basically, so they were born. It's the beginning. So Zuko was born in Zumi, not in Zumi. Just to clarify. So yeah, Zuko, who, and Zumi, he went to a quirk doctor at age of 4. So he says the same thing that I always do or sometimes do in my what if videos. He looks at Zumi, tells her that she has quirk. She gets excited, and then he looks at Zuko and tells him that he's quirkless. As he accepts that part, and after the thing, they start arguing about keeping him, or just get rid of him, like put him in the orphanage. But Zuko was basically pretty strong. So when he was, Bakugo says, "What's your quirk, Zuko?" Guess I'm quirkless. And if you're gonna give me a nickname of Deku, I'm okay with that, by the way. As they're like, really? Yeah. To be honest, I had no other choice. But the Quark Doctor did lie. Let me tell you. It's on pause right now, so let me tell you. He, Zuko has a quirk and two abilities inside of his body, or inside of his like soul. So basically, he's immortal. I don't know to call it. The soul-based abilities or something, but I don't know. Tell me in the comments below. So let's get back into the video. So Zuko they starts to giggle at him, telling him Deku Deku thing. Huh? As he starts laughing with them, he accepts that part because he never actually wants to have a, because he tells Bakugo, in honest opinion, if I did had a quirk, it wouldn't be so like cool as yours, so, or my sister's. So oh, so he goes as Bakugo, and yeah, so it doesn't join UA, but his sister did join UA, so he didn't. He just joined a random school. No, to, so he was so relaxed, thinking about if he did had a quirk, but it doesn't bother him that much. But then things changed. All for one, and wanted a, or let's say in this alternate timeline, his quirk of regeneration is failing on him, so he needs to find a new body that can sustain quirks. And so the quirk doctor has an idea. Yeah. So he looks up suitable candidates for her in. So then he found one. Zuko Midoriya is suitable candidate for to put his mind inside Zuko's body. And so they kidnap him. As they strap him to the a table, or actually to a chair, right next to All for One. As Zuko was pretty, he wants to try to get away. As All for One says, can't wait. Pull the trigger. As the Quark Doctor does, as the All for One's mind and Zuko's switched. Basically, like, Zuko's mind is inside All for One's body, and All for One's mind is inside Zuko's body. Honey. Like, their spirits, like, switched places, too. So, but there was one downside was Zuko's, of course, was quirkless. Like, his body. But then, yeah. So, his old body had all the quirks. And yeah. So yeah. Basically his eyes turned red. And let me show you. So you know how like All for One's eyes are like always red? Well, this is what All for One looks like. Okay. Yeah. So he goes back to school and or like to the one of the schools. Zuko was still inside All for One's body, but All for One didn't realize that Zuko had a quirk, and it fixed the issue on his like regeneration. So yeah, so the ability allowed him to go from looking like Nan to looking like his prime, as he feels great, as he's so like ready to take on the world, but he doesn't want to. Oh, as yeah. So the Quark Doctor there Hunter says, "Huh, I see. I didn't see this before. Zuko, you have the amazing quirk inside your soul, I see. And let's see. It's elemental manipulation. It's good for her something. But what's really intrigues me is inside your soul is now you who have the abilities of infinity and zero inside your soul. So you're basically immortal. You don't die or yeah. So the Zuko was pretty upset with as the time progressed, and it was yeah, like time skip. As all my or so they Cam Park. Normally I would put all my versus All for One, but it's really technically is in this what if is All Might versus Zuko. As All for One was watching, he's grinning. And so Zuko was they battled against All for One. As Zuko, who wanted to do the fanboy thing, but something tells him that he needs to find his original body before her. As All Might says, looks like you're back in your prime, All for One. As he's just playing along because he has no idea what he's talking about. So he says yes. After what if I told you that you were battling against someone else? As All Might is confused. You think I'm lying, ain't you? But you're really just as deep down how I know that you're already too late, All Might. Hey, as Zuko doesn't use the beam, but instead, he flecked him as All Might was down. As he says, this would be me finishing you off, but I'm gonna return something. And as he looks at his sister, so goodbye, as he jumps away, as he wants to go kill so All for One, like Zuko's body, was just walking around. As Zuko, that was in, so they had their minds and souls switch, but Zuko, because he had quirks and abilities inside of his body, were inside of his soul. Oh, and All for One didn't have the quirks inside of his. So he decides, to basically, as everyone's confused of why All for One didn't kill him off. As Zuko flies away, and then he looks for his body, as he knew where it is. As All for One then is terrified. or not terrified, but he's like, huh, you think I'm him the. So Zuko says, or as all for one in, or all for one that's inside Zuko's body, Ani, Ni, was like does his little thing, like he he wants to like kill him. So Zuko was basically, yeah. And let's say there was a building with spikes on the bottom. Um, yeah. The or let's say it was in the at UA as the all for one. Zuko says the you're not allowed to be in the because you're quirkless. As Zuko says, huh? Every single day, every single minute, when I was just, oh, when I was in my own body, I always got at that, but I accept it. But now, time for you to die here. As all for one says, what are you doing? Well, I'm doing this world a favor to dropping you right here and now. So, as he drops ops all for or drops all for one that was in Zuko's body, as he used to create a like a spike, as he did put up a barrier before so that no one can interfere. As Zuko, as the pro heroes and the news people were, they see a student is getting fall from the UA Ames skylight thing. As everyone tries to go in, but they can't. As then, of course, Zuko, or all for one version of Zuko, says, huh, this is how my life is gonna end. But that's okay. At least I'm out of torture. As Zuko watched him get pierced. Like, yeah, as all for one got killed. Yeah, as everyone that was watching the news saw that, and everyone was crying. They couldn't believe that this symbol of evil did that to one of their children's. They couldn't believe it. As he flies down, as Zuko flies down. As the all for one Un's last words were, "Thank you." And then it dies. Then he dies. As Zuko, whom nods his head, and he is, yeah. Some people are screaming of why Zuko, or why did All for One do that to poor little Zuko, or Deku. That's what they all called him. But then he says this. Well, he looks over, he walks over to, as he kills the, he chops the pillar down. He lifts, he takes All for One, or his own body off the spike, lays it down, as he says that he gets All for One is now no more. As Zuko says this, screaming on the top of his lungs, he says that, or not screaming, but he's more like yelling. He says that I'm not All for One. Hun, I am Zuko. Or Deku. Who? You guys don't believe me? I'm okay with that. How will I explain this to all of you politely? As he explains to the newscast that All for One kidnapped him, switch mind controls thing, basically, and my soul was inside this body. As Zuko points to his chest, or to All for One's chest, as he tells him, or he tells them that you think I'm lying? My once best friend was Kosuke Bakugo. My sister is Ochako, or not Ochako, the Zumi Midoriya. My favorite idol is All Might. I looked up to him. So yeah. As they could not believe that they had their ideas thing was wrong. Yeah. As he turns to his body that was still laying motionless on the ground. Yeah. So then All for One did leave his, or he did die out. So his soul is now in the underworld. Or should I say underwear? To basically Yeah. So Zuko, who looks over as he walks over to his body, Ani, as he sat down, cross-legged, as he used his power of his own infinity thing. So he transferred his soul and his mind back into all, or back into Zuko's, or into his body, his own body. As it's like these where's the, I forget the reincarnation guy, the one that went from the old man to put into Shogo's body. Yeah. So Zuko gets up. Um like he wakes up from his nap thing or his so he gets up. Um yeah. As they see All for One not moving. So Zuko walks over, picks the All for One's body up, um, and he doesn't want unexpected stuff happen to him. And Zuko, who my original plan was for Zuko as All for One tried to like fight back, eh? But because Zuko's body was like had no quirk, so he's basically trying to fight him. Yeah. So yeah, as all the villains villains were, as he was like as he was happy, and he finally got his body back. As he looks over, he smiles as his eyes were green, as his sister doesn't know if it's still All for One or Zuko. But then he says, "Hey sister, what's up?" Um, I mean, yeah. Let me just take the as he sticks out his hand, and let me him or actually he just hugs his sister as it was actual hug, as she didn't realize that her brother went through that. Yeah. So everyone was like, as he wanted to do something to All for One's body, as he says, "I'll be right back after I'll turn myself in." And okay. So then he turns, grabs All for One, teleports him away. Eh? As he gave him a proper burial, like burn thing, so that the yeah, as he feels like after the entire body burns, he feels better after as he goes, or actually, let's say the one of the pussycats that wasn't got her quirk taken away. You know which one I'm talking about. Here, let me show you what I'm talking about. This girl right here, she ends up um um was basically pretty much as she walks over to him with the her and like the other pussycats, because as as she they both, or one of them says, you got it off your chest, right? Yeah, being in that body, honey, he is just way too bizarre for me. He, he, he. As Zuko says that with the confidence thing, yeah, everyone hates that guy. No, but you, who did this world a favor on destroying the symbol of evil, how did you do it? Well, as he explains that that he or that Zuko got captured and he got his mind switched with or All for One. So basically, and he sat there quietly and like watching All for One's body melting before his eyes. As the so basically, yeah, Zuko was basically he just was sitting there, and then the flame goes out, the ashes as it as he wants to lay him down and go right to sleep. So, because they left him, as yeah. So, basically, oh, the that girl, or so all of them, He just wants to lay there. He had no reason to live. As he created like a knife, you know, because like how much pain that All for One took him through. You know, the but there was one thing that I did forget to mention, that Zuko was the because he had the power of infinity and zero. He just doesn't, as he's trying to kill himself, as he tries is to do that like vein thing across the hand thing, even across his own neck. But then when he looks, as he doesn't, or he, as it's drove him crazy, as he's basically getting, he got forced to live this lifestyle. Or actually or not this lifestyle, but it just pains him that someone ruined his life. You know. As he looks away, he doesn't want to, because All for One, during all that time, because all the villains know he just wants to see the world, or he will, so they tried to force him to, like, so they didn't target his family. As he says, well, Zuko, or of course, Zuko heard or All for One's final wishes. As he looks at himself, no, because All for One's memories things, that it was still in All for One's body, but Zuko, who had access to his memories, so it's been bothers him so many times that he sees the first user of One for All, first user of One for All, as he was blaming himself for less than 3 days. He wants to go back to there, be with his family, but then he couldn't, because he doesn't know what they're still alive. He knows that his sister is still alive. But he doesn't know his family is, or like his mother, his father, Hunter is still alive. And so his heart was, and he doesn't know that if everyone else was safe out there. So it's been 3 days since after he killed All for One. Yeah. And as he looked at a hole in his chest, asked, and yeah, Zuko, no, used his own power to buff it all out. As he wishes that he could see his sister again and check on a family, but he can't pull himself to do it. I feel bad for doing this to poor Zuko, so I'm just doing it for you guys. So yeah, Zuko ends up getting a chance and two, and so he didn't eat anything. Like no, like he didn't eat anything. Like no lunch, no breakfast, no dinner, nothing for 3 days. And his body was starving. He wanted, man, he's forcing himself to not eat as much, or as it drove Zuko crazy about the how All for One ruined Zuko's life. And as back of his mind, he could hear All for One's voice, not mocking him, but there was one word, or one or two words that he said. Ed. And he said thank you. What is he thanking for? As he doesn't understand, he has, as he's forcing himself to believe that it's just a illusion, he just and when he fell asleep, he meets the one All for One again, as Zuko says, "Did I kill, or I killed you, All for One, right?" Yes, you did. And but I'm not gonna hold that against you, by the way. As Zuko is like saying that, why did you say thank you on when I threw you off the building in my own body? Well, he said thank you because I'm free from the imprisonment of being just a human. So, so All for One walks up, and this is just the he's not in like so he hugs Zuko, and Zuko tries to guess on the if he tried to take away his quirk, but nothing happened. As All for One brought him close to his chest, as he tells him that this is my how I thank you. It's been a long time. So, and finally, someone had a nerve to kill a symbol of peace. So, hey, and I'm happy for you. If any villains tries to, like, I know that you're beating yourself up because you have so many questions. But nothing's your fault, Zuko. And your parents are still alive. And Zuko, whose heart starts to pound, as it's like he's happy. So, All for One, and actually prayed him, or like praised him for how good he is, because he tells him that All Might couldn't even kill me, but I wanted him to do it. But I'm happy that someone actually did it for him. So, yes. Now, as he walks away, as he puts his hand up, as he waves at him, as Zuko, whom is, he says, "You're welcome," by the way. And Zuko thinks that he's a criminal. Oh. But all that guilt from, of course, now let's transfer over to UA. So they had the meeting thing, and Nezu tells All Might, "How are you doing?" Well, the All for One didn't do any damage to me. Like he didn't want to fight me. That's what triggers, or I don't know what went through his mind. Well, as Razorhead says, well, I think that more biggest concern is Zuko Midoriya. The he's not a threat, and he, as one of the pussycats was that there, she tells them that he only thing that he wanted was his body back. Because the All for One switched bodies and he's with him. As All Might and everyone in there was shocked. So that, as she says, yes, you weren't battling against All for One. You were actually battling against Zuko Midoriya. That's why you took no damage. And as All Might says, that makes sense. Why doesn't if that kid had his body at least or his mind got swapped into All for One, and then as Zuko was thinking about it a very long time, as he didn't think of that possibility. As Nezu says, what about him with killing All for One thing? That's what's biggest concern. As well, I think that he wanted his body back, but he got forced to do it. So no blame, or as he says, don't blame Zuko thing. It's All for One. Blame All for One for it. Pedia says that it was Zuko that did that. As Zuko, or let's say it was before the overhaul thing, or actually during the overhaul thing, they had their meeting, and then of course, Zuko, who, please wait for part 2.